Rider, in which the main character is riding a bucket above the cityscape of Prague at night. He's riding on a bucket. So the puppet, this puppet here, will be riding on the bucket. And there's a bucket somewhere. I painted that puppet too. Adam said that well, you have to see the other puppets in the scene. The other puppets. He's a guy who's basically got no more coal. He needs more coal. And so he goes to the coal dealer. And the coal dealer is an old...
The coal dealer down here.
It's this old guy and his wife. And they're very stingy and miserly, and they're cruel, and they, you know, because he can't afford to buy any coal, they don't, you know, they refuse to sell him any coal. Adam can explain it more. Anyway, I'll show you the coal dealer and his wife.
So,
where are they?
We're on video right now.
The coal dealer is up there.
Yeah, this is where's the wife?
She's behind the last panel there.
This is the coal dealer.
You did this, the face.
No, I didn't paint it.
No?
Adam painted it.
Oh.
He's telling you a thing.
That's great, man. Wow.
He's just kept him blue, right? Because he's a cold bastard, basically.
Right. Frosty.
His wife's is back in a box behind the back panel.
Let's go get the wife. There's a scene in which the two vulture girls, who are also police officers, but they're dressed in Chinese dresses. And they do this seductive sort of dance and arrest the main character, Yosef. They're wearing these masks.
Wow.
Dude,
Yeah,
is that ever happening?
Oh, yeah, that's happening.
This is Chiang Kai-shek. Well, actually, the scene here is there's a series of steps that leads up to this. Where are the steps? Anyway, the scene is, this guy is the law. He represents the law, or justice, I guess. And the scene is that the character is trying to get in past the doorway, which is to get to the law. But he's the gatekeeper of the law. He keeps the law, right?
Huh.
Kind of hoards it.
Wow.
And so this character, who's much smaller, tries again for years and years, and he tries to bribe his way in. But the gatekeeper refuses the bribes, and well, he accepts the bribes, but says, even though I'm accepting your bribes, I still won't let you have access to the law. Adam's a little upset about that.
Oh.
I'm okay. But I'm not totally paying attention to what you're saying.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah. That's fine. That's good. Busy working.
So I'm sorry. Say that again.
I was just explaining some of the plot or some of the storylines.
So how did you came up with this idea? You'd been toying with you were saying you'd been toying with the idea
of doing a show based on Kafka
and
for
fantasizing,
years.
yeah.
And so then finally, I met Anchen, who was producing this show, and I said, "Oh, hey, why don't we do a show together?" You know, I don't know why I said that, but
was it at a bar or something? Or?
I had just finished this Monkey King show last summer, and I was excited to try and do another show in Taipei this summer, and knew that Anchen has a theater company, so I was like, hey, come on, let's do a show. And so he said okay, and the next thing I knew, like, we had booked a theater, and we're like, oh fuck, what show were we gonna do? And he said, oh, why don't we do the Metamorphosis? And I said, God, well, yeah, I mean, I've been fantasizing about doing Kafka for years, but I don't want to do the metamorphosis, it's too common, you know? What if we do, like, the life and work of Kafka and do, like, this show that's all about his short stories and life, and so that was the idea.
Adam?
Which one?
What form of what's this called?
That's actually like a really simple rod puppet that has fairly stiff movement and is, you know, it's not a great rod puppet really, but it's pretty.
This hat falls off a lot. Eh?
This is Kafka, right?
Kind of.
Yeah, it was kind of. I was looking at Kafka pictures when I made that. So.
How did they work the whole?
And they stay there. They bury all their treasures down inside our lives. When they're feasting,
警察就可以随便乱抓人了。
with the crunch
警察就可以随便乱抓人吗？
more content, though you search and they tumble under to the depths of and they wail and they gnash and they
proposal, a couple pages. I wrote an insane proposal, and then in April started working on the script.
How long did it take to do that?
Actually, in March I started working on the script. I worked on it like a lot in March and April, and sort of tortured myself over it and didn't get anywhere. And then came here in April and started kind of. And started to write it in earnest, and you know, but then like in May, like went home and sort of took some time to think about it and figured some more stuff out of it, and finally like in June when I got here, you know, we kept working on it, you know, and it was once I started making puppets and playing with them with the performers that really it really started to feel like it made sense. Like sitting around like by myself trying to write a puppet script is silly.
Yeah, especially when it's an adaptation of.
Well, it's just like I just need to, you know, it's important. The whole thing of just making puppets and playing with them is a really important part of creating a show. It's not something you can just do fucking sitting around thinking. You can, but.
Yeah, so many things change in the dynamic of the performance.
Mm-hmm. And that's why it's, you know, really nice to work with people that you trust and you have a certain shared sensibility with. Because
And you met these people by just doing other performances, yeah?
the people that I'm working with now, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just through the fact of being like that, I'm doing performances, then you meet other people who are involved in that.
And performance making.
Yeah.
Performance, wait a sec, just a performance maker isn't a performance maker, hey man, isn't a performance maker a performer? It's, you're just dumping.
So just like I said, the painting those guys' faces blue.
Green is my favorite color. So.
But then I started to think, yeah, that you're right. There is nothing green,
And living.
and I should maybe try and stick with the colors of this. And so I thought maybe I would just copy your colors from this guy.
Well, this guy just, yeah, he's got this definitely no fashion sense. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's a completely. Maybe he's just a total like this is hipster fashion. This guy, like it's like it's all the rage now. You know? But the
Where did it perform that? I performed it, I think, at one of the first drunk puppet nights in Seattle.
you should explain what
Drunk puppet
that
nights.
was. He used to do what was it? Performances in bars, puppet
Yeah.
shows in bars. That's crazy.
And every year we'd have the drunk puppet night at the Rebar in Seattle. It actually started out at the Rendezvous, but anyway. It was just like a collection of adult puppet shows for audiences who were, at a bar drinking and.
Yeah.
And
I asked him who was drunk, the puppets, and he said the audience was definitely drunk. The puppets were mostly drunk, and the puppeteers were drunk part of the time. We're tipsy.
Something like that. But yeah, I mean, those were good, and those continue to be pretty popular events.
so he's not finished with this rock star. I'm something maybe like Ermine.
Everything, obviously, and then that's what I'm doing tonight is like arranging everything and packing everything up. And
I need to practice it. Maybe I'll try to get some practice in tomorrow.